Yeah. So part two, take some extra time, but I was just trying to put as put as much as I could, in disc two, because I'm trying to, divide it by, by disc. So, anyway, of course, in part, at the end of part two, goes more in depth about his match with Kurt Angle, which I thought was definitely terrific. WrestleMania 21. First at the time, I didn't really, understand, why he lost. Then, I found out, it was more so, kind of push the career of Kurt Angle, because I believe, truth be told, if they fought, if they really face each other, without, Shawn having to push Kurt, make him better, whatever. Shawn was in his prime. Shawn will win. I definitely, firmly believe that. Because especially Shawn in his heyday, from '95, like I said before, against Kurt Angle, it'll be good, but in the long run, Shawn would definitely been too much for Kurt, to ultimately handle. So, and of course that match against Hogan, in a SummerSlam, even though I don't talk about it on the DVD, but I remember, I was actually at the MCI, well now Verizon Center, at SummerSlam with Shawn faced Hogan. Shawn Michaels, face off Hogan, whatever. And so, and like when I look back, I see that Shawn Michaels clearly should have won that match. But because no matter what, like he was just selling the moves. Making Hogan look better than what he really was. And like I say, Shawn was just doing business. Because of the fact that the way Hogan does business. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, at this 3, I remember they talk about the tribute to the troops, and the match that Shawn has against Triple H, had against Triple H, that boot camp match, and I saw it too. It was pretty good. And, just another example, like I say, just a perfect example of of who really was the leader, between Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Shawn was the teacher, Triple H, has become the student. And and I'm just going to throw this out here, for the record. I believe that with Triple H, even though he was a really good champion and everything like that, and he's one of the few guys that sort of keeps things interesting, so to speak. Him and Shawn were great as far as DX. But the thing I think I get about Triple H is that no matter how great a champion he was, especially in his prime, like in the early 2000s, in my view, he's the guy that's that's still gonna sort of be in the shadows, so to speak, of the guys guys who came before him. Whether it was, of course, Ric Flair, his mentor, one of his mentors, his real mentor, the guy who he sort of patterned his character after. Especially like with the whole evolution thing, he patterned that after the Horseman. Like no matter what, he kind of patterned his first few, the beginning of his title reigns after the Nature Boy. Even with that knee drop and all that. So he's definitely. Even after Triple H went 17, still in Flair's shadow, in Hogan's shadow. Brett definitely, even especially Shawn Michaels, and in this match, I believe that kind of helped solidify that, so to speak. Because like and the thing is, that when Shawn first came back, his first match. The first official match that he had in 2002 in his return was against Triple H at SummerSlam. And just to backtrack, Triple H at this point, was already like at the top of his game. He like at the beginning of the year, he was won the Royal Rumble, beat Jericho. Won the Royal Rumble, beat Jericho for the Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania 18. So at this point, Triple H was virtually the man at this time, Whereas Shawn Michaels, during during the time that Triple H, had his first run as champion in the late '90s, in 2000, from '99 to 2000, Shawn Michaels was out, because he was out from '98 to 2002. So within that space, within that time frame, that's when Triple H took over. That's when Triple H, Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, all took over that main event spot, for the for the WWF title and everything. So during Shawn's during that space of time where Shawn was out, Triple H, was pretty much dominating. So but the thing is, like I say, the fact that Shawn could come back, after being out for 4 years, for 4 long years, and beat a guy who's been a perennial main eventer at that time, still at the peak of his career, and beat him. Shawn beat him. And like I say, Shawn was, came back as if he never missed a single day. That, like I say, that's the perfect reason why I constantly have always believed that Shawn was, was the better half between him and Triple H. But anyway, this is, more so a tribute to the troops, really. So it was still a great match either way. But and then, of course, goes on, talks about, at the end of the DVD, talks about, him being the veteran. The new role, the new role that they took on proudly as far as being the veteran, as far as being the soldier, being the old guy, so to speak, beside in the company, besides the Undertaker, the guy who's able to push the younger talent, make them look better. And like I said, as a matter of fact, in part 1, not part 1, but like the other DVD that I was talking about, like about Shawn Michaels, about about how, like, later on in his career, and how amazing it was that that he was able to hang with guys who were bigger, stronger, and arguably of course, guys were bigger, stronger, arguably just as fast as him. And the 3 names that threw out there were Cena, Edge, and Randy Orton. Isn't that something? In that other video where I said Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, grows up, I was talking about that, about how Shawn, in the later years of his career, like when he was getting into his 40s, how he was able to hold his own, just by his knowledge of the game, just by his wisdom and his experience, how he was able to change up his moveset to hang, with these bigger, stronger, younger studs like Cena, like Orton, like Edge, who were stronger than him, arguably just as fast as him in everything. And and I think in this match, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm looking up, I think Cena won this one. Go figure. So but anyway, this is just a test of just to show how great of a ring general and just a legend that Shawn Michaels has become, the type of respect that he's received. So and of course, like Shawn has a match and later on that year in November against Randy Orton. I remember at Survivor Series, that's when Shawn came back. After he had gotten injured. Well, this was like a match, after the Heartbreak Kid, Heartbreak and Triumph DVD. So I think this was a match, where Orton retained the title and everything, everything like that. So, and Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton, like two of my favorite superstars. I believe, for me, I believe Randy Orton, is to this era, this 2000s era going on. And I believe, he's to this time what Shawn Michaels was to the 90s. I'm just going, just go ahead and say that. So it's like, two worlds collide. The 2000s meet, the late 2000s meets the 90s. In a nutshell. So, of course, he talks about his family. And there's another match against Jericho. For Unforgiven, was that ladder match for the world title. Just like after Jericho smashed Shawn's head, head in that Jeritron 5000, and that's when Jericho became a heel, and for the world title. So and of course him and Y2J are great friends outside the ring. And of course, last but not least, his match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. This, I believe, between those two matches, between this and WrestleMania 26, I have to say this was their best match of all time. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. And they talk about, was he the greatest ever? In my view, to close this out, Shawn Michaels to me is the single greatest all-around performer. As far as not just mic skills, but wrestling skills, all that stuff, period. Just innovation. He is the greatest. I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's a question that says greatest ever. Yes, I believe he is the greatest of all time. If you want to say otherwise, if you have opinions, please feel free to put them down. Please feel free, without any profanity. Please feel free to put your comments down. And so that's it. And so I give this DVD 4.5, about 5 stars, just because HBK.